Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin. Hello, everybody. You're all very welcome to another episode of Concerts That Made Us. This week, I'm interviewing an actual living, breathing person, so you won't have to listen to me babble on about myself for over an hour. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview. I found it very entertaining, and even listening back to it myself, there was quite a few funny bits. Before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you for the overwhelming response we got to the first episode. We've got a couple of new listeners from all over America: Washington, Texas, Georgia, Virginia. You're all very welcome. I appreciate the support. We've even got one single person all the way over in New South Wales in Australia. Also, just a quick reminder, you can find us on social media. We're at Concerts That Made Us on Facebook and Instagram, and Concerts Us on Twitter. Come over, join us, say hello, interact. It'll be good fun. I look forward to hearing from you. Hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did recording it. Now, without further ado, let's get on with the show. So, my guest this week is a very good friend of mine, music lover, concert goer, Emma Kelly. Hello, Emma.
Hello there, Brian.
Jeez, I didn't get your usual greeting.
Hi, how are you?
That's more like it. That's more like it. Are the listeners not special enough to get the Emma Kelly special greeting?
Well, I don't really know them yet, so they have to get the normal one for the minute.
Oh, I see. It's like that, is it? So for the listeners, Emma has this way of greeting people that I always mock her for. She seems to do it unnoticed to herself. She's convinced she doesn't do it, but trust me, she does.
That's
Anytime you
because I
say,
don't.
sorry.
I said that's because I don't.
So anytime Emma says hello to someone, she says, "Hi, how are you?" And it's I find it very amusing.
Easily amused. Easily amused.
Right, so we'll get down to business then.
Straight in with no kissing it. Is that what you said?
Oh, you're quoting me from the first episode, I see.
I said I better or I'd be in trouble.
Right. So, what's your first memory of music?
Oh, my first memory.
Yeah,
Well, that's a curveball.
it is. It is. I like to keep my guests on their toes, you see.
My first memory of music would be of me staying at my cousin's house, as I did quite often.
Right.
Every Sunday morning, me and my cousin Gary would be down in the kitchen because we'd be the first up.
Okay.
Hence, we were the youngest. The other two were always out, so they were hungover, so it would be later when they'd be up.
You're
But
painting quite a lovely picture there.
nice people, nice people. But
Right, carry on.
but depending on the Saturday night, the Sunday morning would be quite interesting. Now, me and Gary would be in this kitchen, obviously eating the breakfast or whatever. We always had the radio on, listening to music, and if the night went well for Jenny, you'd hear her coming down the hall. She used to do a scissors kick in through the door, and she would do a rendition of the final countdown.
Right, okay.
Now,
So,
I can't really say it was a good rendition, but it was a rendition.
so a bit of a kung fu and final countdown
Yeah.
on a
Now,
Sunday morning.
the only thing that she had going right was the hairdo.
Right. Would you like to describe that hairdo?
I think I should not.
Probably safer. We leave it up to the listeners' imaginations. Now, this would have been the early 90s, so I'm sure the outfits to match the hairstyles were very interesting.
Interesting is a word I'd put on it, all right? Sorry.
What?
I said sorry, I had to laugh there.
I think my listeners would feel very left out now if they didn't get a better description of your Kung Fu / Europe Sunday mornings. So how about you give us a rendition of the final countdown?
Oh,
You know,
no.
I'll provide the music, you know. Do 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 do
But
do
you see,
do.
I'm already after doing it here, but you can't see.
Ah, I see. Oh, you were doing a mime of it, was it?
Yeah, I think I put my hip out.
Right. Well, don't strain yourself too much.
But if you were going for the look, the Sunday morning look, it would be something in between Europe and Kiss. Gone wrong.
Something you wouldn't want to meet down a dark alley, like.
You sure wouldn't. Oh, it's tough enough meeting in the kitchen now, I can tell you.
That sounds like that'd turn you off your breakfast.
It's a good job we were up early and had it nearly finished.
Okay, okay. So, how would you describe your musical taste, your music interests, you know, and how it's blossomed over the years?
I'd describe it as interesting. There's not much I don't like. I love music. Love all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Brian's Hi, how are you for everybody who's listening.
Yeah, on listening back to the first episode, we noticed that I say so, yeah, an awful lot, which I'm trying to cut down on. You know, it's like giving up cigarettes, it's hard to do.
You're not doing
Yeah.
great on either, are you?
Ah, sure. We all have our vices. Right. So you have a very broad range when it comes to your musical tastes.
I do,
There's
I do.
not much you don't like.
No,
So everything from pop to rock to metal. What about dance music? Do you like dance music?
a certain amount of it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, interesting, interesting. What about
Well,
rap and
sure you'd listen to it and you do it yourself in the shower, but you can't tell people you listen to it.
True, true. I see. I see where this interview is going. So, right, come on then. Tell me about the very first concert you went to.
So the very first concert I went to was with the Europe impersonator, and,
Okay.
and we went to see Westlife. Now, if we want to forget this after this interview, that's fine.
Right. Okay. Westlife. And for anyone that doesn't know, who is Westlife?
Brian
You know,
has 3 CDs and he can play them for you later.
for anyone that doesn't know, Westlife was a boy band, very big in Ireland and England back in the, would you say, early 2000s?
I would.
Okay. Okay. And, oh,
Are you dead?
no, I was trying to think. That's a very odd musical taste now for someone who's mad into Europe and the final countdown to pick a boy band like that. Very clean cut, not very, all sort of squeaky clean pop songs. Was it you that was begging her to bring you?
No, even though that's what everybody thought. It was, oh, I'll bring Emma to the concert, but Emma didn't know this at the time.
Oh, really?
Yes,
And
but
what age
now
were you?
I have to say, I was 13.
Right.
I was 13, but I have to say, I'll have to take back my earlier comment of saying we'll forget about it after it's over because I would like some other songs and it's more than one concert I've been to.
My God, really?
That's right, yes.
How many times have you seen him?
5. So you could say
Okay.
the first 4 was a mistake, but I can't say anything about the fifth. It's getting a bit common after that.
So we've gone from we can forget about it to you're secretly Westlife's #1 fan.
I wouldn't say number one fan, but I have all the CDs. Now I've
Okay,
taken
and
the posters down. I've taken the posters down, but I have the CDs.
I see, I see. I suppose you get to a certain stage in life where the posters just won't do anymore. You have to take them down and put some proper wallpaper up.
I suppose the blue tack was old, so they kind of fell off the wall.
I see, I see. And who would you say was your favorite in the band then?
Clearly Shane.
Really?
Like, he might have married the other one, but he was just waiting for me to be old enough, really.
Is he the one with the funny lip now?
What are you talking about?
You know, he had a bit of a funny lip. His top lip stuck out further than his bottom lip. He actually looked like he was trying to scratch his nose with his top lip all the time.
No, that is a negative. Shane was perfect, but I'm intrigued by you knowing so much about Westlife for someone who just made fun of me.
No, 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 no.
No,
Don't be
no,
going
no,
there now.
no, no, no.
No, you see, I don't know very much about Westlife at all. I remember seeing them on TV or whatever around that time, and I just remember your man's lip sticking out like I don't know what. Well, it
Oh,
wasn't just
so
sticking out to me, it was literally sticking out off his face, you know.
I don't know who you're thinking about there.
I actually, believe it or not, we had my Irish teacher in secondary school. We all used to call him Westlife because he was the spitting image of your man with the funny lip, and he had the same lip.
Well, that's not my Shane.
But if this Irish teacher is listening, I'm sorry, you don't have a funny lip. He was actually a pretty sound teacher, and I got on very well with
Yeah, sounds like it.
him. Were you one of these young ones now that was devastated when what's the blondie fella's name?
Brian
You know you're
McFadden. And
yeah,
stop letting on that you don't know him because I
I
know what you
knew
do.
I knew you'd know him. Isn't he the one that married that one from England, the one that looked like she crawled out of a trailer park?
Okay, Brian, can we just stop it right here now? Because we know you're not fooling anyone. Okay, so let's be real now and don't be lying to your fans. You know a little
Right,
bit more about Westlife than you're letting on.
hang on now. Fans is a bit of a stretch now. We'll have to wait a couple of more episodes before we can start calling them fans. I don't want to start
Okay,
getting hate mail.
okay. Well, Brian, let's be real then. Stop lying to your one fan in New South Wales.
Okay, I'll accept that.
The Texas people, I apologise.
So, would it be fair to make the jump that you were also a Boys Own fan back in the day then?
Christ almighty, no.
You sure now? You're giving out the image of that young Emma was a little teeny bopper
No,
going around
no,
loving boy bands and
no. It was just the one. It was just the one.
oh come on, I bet you used to love Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all them.
Look, if we're not talking about that, we're talking about my first concert.
Actually, do you remember back in the day there was some Irish boy band and I think they had one single and they toured around the CD shops around the country thinking they were famous when they really weren't. I think they were called O Town or something.
Was that not you?
No, thank God I was way too young to be confused with them.
There was an O Town, yes.
I always wondered what the O Town stood for.
Well, get a looking up on it then.
Do you think it was like so they could be like up on stage and be like, "Oh, ladies, I'm going to take you to O Town."
I can never unhear
Right, right. Enough of Brian's weird thoughts about boy bands from the 90s, and that doesn't make me sound any better.
So, anyway,
Moving on. What song would you like to pick from your beloved Westlife?
I would like to pick World of Our Own.
Really now? I thought you would have went for Flying Without Wings. I've never heard any of them songs. This is going to be the first time I'm ever hearing a Westlife song. I wonder what they sound like.
Yeah. Maybe I'll record you the next day when you're singing Flying Without Wings and I'll play it back to you.
Never happened. Not true.
I have the
Not
proof.
true.
I have
Fake
the proof.
news. Fake news. Right. So introduce your track then, Emma.
I just did, Brian.
No, I asked you which track you'd like to play. Now you have to introduce it.
Okay. I'm taking this song from Brian's Spotify. I think it's number 5 on the list. It's Westlife, an Irish band, and World of Our Own.
Right. So I have to admit it's quite a catchy song.
Catchy, is that what we're calling it now?
Well, we have to be polite.
I can see you bobbing your head.
So why did you pick that song?
I picked that song because it's an upbeat song. It kind of sticks in your head. And I won't lie. Whenever it comes on the radio, I do turn up the radio.
Oh my God.
And believe it or not, me and Shane do be having a duet in the car.
Oh, really? Do you know?
Yeah, yeah. It turns out quite well, actually. I
Interesting.
might record it for your listeners.
And does Shane know about this?
Oh, he does.
I see, I see. Hmm.
I actually get some royalties to the song because our version is better.
Ah, I see. It's like the new version of Shallow, is it?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Exactly. That's actually where they got the idea for that.
I see. Just had a great idea. Next
This will
time
be
you're
good.
doing it, what?
I said, this will be good. Warning, warning, warning.
Next time you're doing your little duet, I'll record it and I'll release it to the listeners. What would you think? I'll put it on one of our social medias. Let them see it.
Oh, I actually never thought you'd release one of our recordings.
Our recordings.
Yeah, because you'll be singing as well.
Not a hope. No
Yeah,
hope. You said you and Shane.
yeah, but you're like, you stand in sometimes, like, but sure, what can I do?
Right. This must be when I'm asleep or something, or maybe you're drugging me or something, and I have no recollection then.
Fake news, fake news.
Okay, moving on. Moving on.
So yeah,
Would you like to tell me about the last concert you were at?
that would be the Foo Fighters, Brian.
Oh, very good. I'm impressed. I like a bit of Dave Grohl myself now.
You should, because you were at the concert.
I was. That is very true,
You nearly weren't at the concert, Brian, were you?
wasn't
No, neither was I, nearly not, because you wouldn't get your arse in gear and come on.
it? Right, but this interview isn't about me. It's about you and seeing the concerts
Oh,
and seeing.
I know, but you nearly ruined this concert.
How did I nearly ruin the concert?
Probably because we were just parking in the car park when the Pretender came on.
That is true.
I
I
can't find
do. I
the
do
Where's my
recollect
card?
that.
Where's my dad? Where's my dad? You were actually giving me an aneurysm.
What was that?
I said, where's my fags? Where's my code? Where's my this? Where's my that? I was like, will you come on?
Okay, you're painting quite a lovely picture of me here.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay. And I thought the first episode was where the listeners get to know me.
Oh no, sure, where'd be the fun in that?
You see, this episode is supposed to be all about getting to know you.
Yes, but sure, what can I do if you're the one that was at the last concert with me?
Okay, okay, fair point. And when was this concert?
It was back in the early 2019. August 2019.
For some reason, I always think that concert was later in the year. I always think it was like October,
It
September or
was,
something.
it was not. It was August.
And was it a good show?
It was an outstanding show.
What was your favorite part?
The whole thing. The cursing, the energy. And
Carson?
surprisingly enough, yeah,
Do tell.
there was a few F words dropped.
Ah, come on, we're all big boys and big girls around here. You can say 'em.
Oh, can I?
You can
A
work away
lady
and
never,
let.
a lady never speaks like that.
All right, but there's no ladies on the podcast.
Oh. No, it was. It was a very good show from start to finish, even though we missed the first song. But we'll move on from that. Um, it was very good. Even though it rained, I had been to a number of concerts that year. It rained for pretty much all of them.
Mm.
But the Foo Fighters concert was so good, I didn't even notice the rain.
Yeah, you see, sometimes I kind of find that when it rains at a concert, especially if it's an outdoor concert, well, obviously it's an outdoor concert because it's not going to rain indoor. But like if it rains and if it's late or near the end of the set, with all the lights and the dark sky, I feel like it adds to the atmosphere almost.
Yeah, yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, it really does.
You know
And
what? And I was actually talking to my mate Dave after the concert. He gave me a phone call.
Oh, did he now?
Yeah. Oh, did you not know we're good friends?
I didn't. And how do you know, Dave?
Well, it was back in December of, I don't know what year. I might have been strolling around San Francisco
Oh,
on
really?
a little street called Love Hate when I happened on this CD shop.
Okay.
I said to the people I was with, "Will we go in here?" And they said, "Yeah." Now it was a massive CD shop. There was 3 different floors. Of course,
Jesus.
us being the Irish people walked in, looking around, seen a crowd over in the corner, put no pass on it.
Putting up
Went up,
ass on it.
no, went about our business, went
No,
upstairs,
hang
looked at the.
on. Hang on. Did you say putting up ass on it?
No, I said there was a crowd over in the corner of the CD shop, and us being the Irish people in the store put no pass on it.
Oh, I had an image of someone trying to put an ass up on a flagpole or something inside the CD shop. Sorry
No.
for interrupting. Go on. Carry on.
So we headed upstairs, we had a look at the movies and all. They were upstairs. We came down to the middle floor. They were kind of the out now CDs, if you get me.
Right, I
I,
get you.
I toddled on down to the bottom store, and that's where, the mugs, the things like that was, and the old CDs.
Yeah.
So I picked up Pink Floyd. I think it was the
Oh,
name was One Brick in the Wall.
okay. Very good. Very good
Um,
CD.
yeah, and it was a kind of like an original copy. So I said, this would be pretty cool, so I'll get it.
Yeah.
So I came up and was talking to the lads, and they weren't getting anything. So I moseyed on over to the till. And little did I know that there was poor old David, just
Okay.
hanging out, chatting, talking to everyone.
Oh, just so we're clear, this is Dave Grohl, yes?
This is correct.
Oh my God. And
So, me being me, of course,
yes.
stood there in total shock and rang the 2 people I was with,
Okay.
even though they were only across the hall from me.
Right.
And I was like, hey, you never guess who's over here? And they were like, who? And I was like, Dave Grohl. And they were like, shut up, Emma, will ya? And I was like, well, if you don't want to come over. So they came over. They were like, for fuck's sake. And I was like, could you act a bit cooler, please? That's my mate. So yeah, so he talked to us all. He asked us our names and what we were doing, and he was like, "That's pretty cool, traveling around. And did it take you as long to save up and all?" And we had the
Really.
lols and the bants or the shits and the giggles, whatever way you want to say it.
You know what to say? It's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits.
This is very true. And
Yeah.
to some people's surprise, they correct me on this when I say it, but I think you might understand. He gave me a drumstick.
Are you serious?
I'm deadly serious. It's my
Please
prized.
tell me.
It's my prized possession.
Please tell me you still have it.
I do, of course.
Next, please tell me a price to
For you
sell.
to buy it.
Yes.
This is a non-sellable object. I might leave
No,
it
no,
to you
no,
in
no,
my
no, no.
will.
Okay, okay.
Now, if I'm murdered, you're not getting it because you will be the one murdering me for it.
Shit.
So, yeah,
So
that's
what
the
was he
story
like
of
to
me.
talk to? Like, was he seems like he's really down to earth and he's a pretty cool guy. Like, what was he
Yep,
like?
exactly that down to a T. It was just like I was talking to you or anybody. And,
Really? There was
and kind of like there was no, like when you meet someone for the first time, there's a bit of quietness or a bit of awkwardness. There was none of that. He was
really?
he was really just a normal person. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
I'd absolutely love
obviously,
to meet
obviously when he was coming to Ireland, he gave me a bell, and I was like, Dave, stop, will you?
him. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't you just hate when these people just won't leave you alone? Like,
Ah, sure, I don't mind, like, but
did you ask him about his days in Nirvana or Kurt Cobain or anything like that?
I asked him everything. Sorry, do you know me? It was kind of like, so Dave, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, Emma, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of how the conversation went.
Yeah, yeah. I always feel like he'd be very open to talking to people, especially from Ireland. I feel like he really genuinely has a love for Ireland.
He
Like,
does.
when rock stars come to, go to different cities, they're like, oh, hello, the Troys. We love the Troys. We always look forward to coming here and playing. Or they'll come to Ireland. They're like, oh, Dublin is our favourite place to play.
And they're
You
in.
know, and yeah, but you just feel like they're just saying that, like, in like 5 minutes before they go on stage, they're like, hey man, tell me what city I'm in tonight so I can say it.
Yeah,
But when he says it, I genuinely feel like he does, because did you ever hear about the story about how the Foo Fighters were formed?
I did, but if you'd like to refresh my memory, I'm sure your New South Wales listener would love to hear it.
Yeah, so everybody knows Dave Grohl. Well, a lot of people think he looks like the drummer from Nirvana, but
No, really?
I'm going to blow your minds, right? Make sure them headphones are tight in your little ears and listen to this. Dave Grohl does not just look like the drummer from Nirvana. He was the drummer in Nirvana. Can you believe that?
Is that why I got a drumstick?
Quite possibly, Emma.
Oh,
Quite possibly. I bet you were standing there thinking to yourself, hang on a second now, he's the singer and guitarist from Foo Fighters. Why does he have a drumstick?
you know. Do you know, I was only raging I missed what song he played.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? I said I'm just raging that I missed what song he played that day in the
In the shop?
CD shop, yeah.
Well, really, what song does he play?
Sorry, were you not just listening? I said I'm raging I didn't know which song he played.
Oh, I get you. I thought you knew what song, and that's why
No,
you were raging you missed it.
no, I missed it.
I see, I see. But anyway, back to my story. So after Nirvana had broken up and he didn't know what to do with himself, and he didn't know whether he wanted to carry on being a musician or anything. He went for a bit of a vacation and came to Ireland. And apparently he was in the west part of Ireland, the very rural parts, no big cities, kind of what every American pictures Ireland being. This is what the west of Ireland looks like, especially back then in the mid 90s. It's like no internet. You'd have to walk about 3 miles to find the next house and
A
stuff
lot,
like that. Sorry?
a lot of sheep.
A lot of sheep, a lot of people called Barbara.
So anyway,
Yeah. So anyway, he was driving down this old country road, and in a world of his own, next thing he sees this young guy walking towards him on the road, and got closer, and the young guy was wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and he had an epiphany. He was like, I'm in the fucking back arse of beyond here, really in the sticks of Ireland, and somebody knows my music, knows my band, and is walking around with a t-shirt for my band on it. If I can reach people out here, I've made it. So yeah, that kind of spurred him on to continue with his music, and he went back to the States and he formed the Foo Fighters.
that he did, and we are forever grateful.
That is very true. Right, before we play your chosen song for the Foo Fighters, which I'm really looking forward to find out which one it is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the concert?
So it was a great concert, obviously. They never stopped for 1 second, never took the pedal off the metal or whatever way you want to say it. Pedal off
Yeah,
the
see,
metal. Pedal off. What?
the pedal off the metal.
Yeah,
Or
that's
no, I can't even say it.
yeah. That's actually quite a tough word to say when you're trying to say it.
Pedal
But
off
anyway,
the metal,
yes,
metal off the pedal,
they kept
whichever way.
they kept the energy going throughout the whole show.
Okay.
Um,
I seem to remember actually some guy coming out on stage at near the end of it and telling Dave Grohl he had to finish up or he was going to be fined because he was going to run past the curfew.
this is very true. And what did he say?
That is a very good question. Why don't you tell our listeners what he
I
said?
don't give a shit, motherfuckers.
I think Dave Grohl's favourite word is motherfuckers.
I think the whole tour should have been called Motherfuckers.
Yeah, Foo Fighters on the worldwide motherfucker tour.
Yeah.
That could
But
be,
it's not like how me or you say motherfucker. It was kind of like motherfucker.
yeah, like, you ready to rock, motherfuckers?
Yeah. And actually, I just thought, side note from motherfuckers, just kind of what kind of person he is as well. Do you remember when he broke his leg or whatever that time, and there was an Irish doctor actually helped him?
Yes, I do.
This doctor happened to be at the concert,
Oh my God.
and my mate Dave happened to play a song for him.
He did actually. He had him up on stage and everything, didn't
He did, he did. He said, "You're the motherfucker that caused me all the agony."
he?
Which leads me to my favourite song of the concert.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
I'm going with this one for my favourite song just purely because of the concert. It is one of my favourite Foo Fighters songs, but it wouldn't be the top one. But from that concert, it stood out to me.
okay.
Can you guess what it is?
Yes, it's the song you're going to play next.
Yes, it's Wheels.
I was fucking. I couldn't remember the name of it. I kept thinking Wheels on the Bus.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. No, a different kind of wheels.
Could you actually imagine Dave Grohl's version of the Wheels on the Bus? I
I
could
probably
imagine him
could.
being like, "The wheels on the bus go round and round, motherfuckers."
Definitely, definitely. There'd be more than a
Okay,
leg broke there.
sorry,
There'd be more than a leg broke there.
there would indeed. Okay, so take it away, Emma. Introduce your song.
This is from my lifelong friends. Many, many songs that he has. But I'm going to pick Wheels from the Foo Fighters.
I love that song. That is definitely one of the best songs.
It really is. And I think, I know I'm going to say it again, but I I was going to put this as my favourite concert,
Okay,
but I was already going to have it as my last concert.
true, true.
So that's why I didn't. But for me, it was one of the best concerts I was ever at. And the rendition he did of that song on the night was just, no words can describe it. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I can see why you'd pick them as one of your best concerts. They do put on one hell of a show.
That's my mate.
My mate Dave.
My mate Dave. He's not your mate, he's my mate.
That actually sounds like a tagline for something. Okay, okay. Now, I'm sorry now, I don't want to bring back any bad memories or anything, but we need to talk about your worst concert.
Now, where do I begin?
Oh, there's been quite a few, has there?
There's been quite a few, unfortunately, but you have to take the good with the bad, I suppose.
True, you do. So, come on, which one gets the coveted worst concert award?
Do you see? It's actually a toss up. I can't actually pick between the two of
Okay,
them. So, do you want to hear the two?
okay, we'll go for two.
Okay, how long have you got?
I've got all the time in the world.
Sorry, I'm going to a bad area. I can't hear you.
Okay, come on, come on.
So, the first one that sticks out to me was I was very, very disappointed. I'm going to paint you a little picture.
Right, right.
It was back in the young the old days of Emma.
Okay.
Saved every penny she had to go to Oxygen.
For those that don't know, Oxygen was a music festival back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And it used to be quite good. They used to have a lot of rock music playing there. But then I think they start playing, or they start attracting a lot of dance and rap and those sort of groups, and a different type of crowd start going, and it just kind of fizzled out.
That's correct.
Okay.
So this was still in the good days
Right.
when you went for the weekend. You had no money, but you went anyway and you enjoyed
Yeah.
yourself. eating Mighty Munch crisps for your breakfast, dinner, and lunch. Quite tasty. So this was my second or third year going. I'm not quite
Okay.
sure. Obviously, the first year you go, it's like, wow, this is amazing, best year ever. Sun splitting the trees,
Yeah.
everything you'd want for a music
Oh, yeah.
festival. Fast forward 2 years, you have the year I'm going to talk about: torrential rain, windstorms, thunder and lightning.
Oh, my God.
GA matches called off all over the county, but no oxygen went ahead. Sure, why not with all the electrical equipment and all? That's
Oh,
not
yeah. Sounds
dangerous.
like a good recipe, all right.
Yeah, there was a factor of will we go, won't we go? And I was like, fuck yeah, we'll go. We're after spending all that money. I actually think at the time might have been 220 for the ticket for the weekend,
Jesus.
which, like, when you think about it, is actually not a bad price for what you got for it. Like, but at the time, 220 seemed like a mortgage for a house for us.
Right. I wasn't aware they had music concerts back in the 1920s.
So, yeah, we went anyway. Kings of Leon was my main act for the
Okay.
weekend. Everybody was getting fairly pissed off with the rain and this, and the way you'd be trying to jizz them up and all, and come on, Kings of Leon are on later, cop on, woo,
Mm,
this, that, and the other thing, making sure everyone was all right for
Can I just stop you there?
walk.
Did
Yep.
you just basically say you were going around the concert jizzing on people?
No, no, I did not. But I'm not surprised you would think that.
Right.
Get your mind out of the
I don't
gutter,
know. I
boy.
have this recorded now. I can very easily go back and listen. What I heard was you'd be going around jizzing up.
Yeah, boosting up
Ah,
people.
I see.
So, anyway, in the words of my friend Brian, there was a couple of stragglers I couldn't get out. Now, having said that, poor old Darren did have a great idea. It nearly cost him his marriage, all right, but he had bought a new transit van at the
Okay,
time. Thought because the weather was so bad, he'd bring that instead of a tent.
okay,
And we were like, yes, Darren, that's a good idea. Until he brought out the new memory foam mattress he had bought 2 weeks prior to the concert
right.
in his new home that he had just built. But now this mattress would not fit in the van.
Right.
So Darren proceeded to cut the wheel arches out of the bed so the mattress would fit in the back.
Oh my God. I'd say the wife was happy with that.
Yeah, not happy whatsoever. But anyway, now you kind of get the picture of how I was finding it hard of getting people out of the back of the van. Memory foam mattress,
Yeah.
dry, no rain. But I managed to get them out.
Okay.
Walking down to the concert in the... Now, I know my legs are not very long, but knee deep in muck. It was that bad. I lost my runner on the way to the concert.
Right.
But I kept going,
You were
I
dedicated.
was dedicated
Yeah.
to the cause. Yeah, I kept going. So we stood there, no sign of these lads coming out. The rain was getting, like when you have to squint because it's so windy and rainy.
Yeah.
There was no point in even having a hood or a coat on because you were just drowned.
Yeah.
So they finally came on. I think it was like a half an hour
Yeah.
late. And like everyone's like, woo, wow, yeah, woo. And they literally stood on the stage. Picture this now, squinty eyes, wind and
Okay.
rain. And they literally stood on the stage. They opened with Sex on
Okay.
Fire. He stood there, microphone, guitar, and literally went, "You, your sex is on fire." And that was it. No bit of life, no bit of jumping around, no bit of action to the song. Literally just how I sang it there,
So
like
in
that.
other words, he wasn't really feeling it that night. Like he wasn't in the mood to be there whatsoever.
No. And the tens and thousands of fans were just like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
Jesus. I never would have thought that now. I
Half
thought they would have been a very energetic band and a great band to see live.
Well, that's what I was banking on. But no, total disappointment. Half the crowd actually left.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, would you standing there in the wind and the rain
I
listening to
actually
that?
wouldn't. No, not at all.
No. And like, so you have that. Now I know the I know the day and the rain and whatever had a factor on the day. But then you have 2 hours later, or 2 hours earlier, sorry, when it was still the same day, the same wind and the rain, and you had Florence and the
Yeah.
Machine, a girl on her own, standing in the middle of the stage doing a rain dance because it was so bad. She had everyone in the knots laughing. She made the day better, took it for what it was, and just got
She
on
was
with it.
entertaining, in other words. You were getting your money's
Yeah,
worth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know.
I can kind of see why it was so disappointing then, especially since that's the band that basically drew you to the concert.
Yep, the whole weekend. Was based around
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, that,
I mean, I lost a runner and everything.
geez, it just wasn't a good weekend at all for you, was it?
It was not. It was not.
Geez, that really pissed you off.
Yeah. So, would you like to know what my song is for
I
them?
would, I would.
So, I'm going to go with. I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong because I pronounce a lot of things wrong, but I'm sure you'll pick up what I'm laying down.
Okay.
It's Revelry.
Okay, that was a good choice. Good song. Why did you pick that song?
I don't know. Cause obviously the main one for the Kingsley one would be Sex on Fire, Use Somebody. Now Use
Yeah,
Somebody is actually my favorite one, but I don't know. Whenever I think of that concert and think of that time, that's what song pops to mind.
that song is linked with that memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see, I see. Now you did say there was a tie for the award. What's the
Oh, there
what's the
was.
other concert?
Oh, there was. This would be back in the summer of 2019. It was Bon Jovi.
Oh, good old Bon Jovi.
Well, yes, that's what you think,
You would,
wouldn't you?
wouldn't you?
You would.
Do tell, do tell.
Yet another concert that year in the rain. Very, very, very wet, everybody was,
Okay,
and not in a good way.
okay.
So, I think that was in the RDS as well.
Yeah,
Yes, I think, no, yeah, definitely the RDS. Um, got tickets for me and my friends, waited for it to come around, done the drive up, got the chips, had the laugh on the way up,
oh
as you
yeah,
do.
yeah. It's all. I always think the whole concert starts the minute you get up that morning, and the getting ready and the journey up is all part of the experience.
That's it. Got there, walked around, bought the t-shirts, headed in, got our spot, waited for the main event,
Yeah,
started to fill up. Now there was a fair crowd there, fairly packed.
yeah. I'd imagine there is. He always
Yeah,
pulls in a good crowd when he's in Ireland.
yeah. So he started, and he started. Well, he didn't really start because I don't think he sang one full song for the whole day.
Really,
Really.
that's a very strange thing for a singer to do now.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with it now, I have to say. And parts didn't even sound like himself.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sure you've probably heard about it, but no, and a lot of like jumping or I don't even know if it was jumping or running around the stage, but just not like you were going to the concert to hear the songs, not to see that.
yeah, yeah.
So you have on one hand you have the Kings of Leon who didn't move at all, and on the other hand you have Bon Jovi who didn't stay still but sang nothing.
If you could put the two of them together, you'd probably have the perfect concert. And
Yeah,
how was the quality? How was how how was his
was
performance and his
his,
voice?
his voice was very broken in parts, I thought,
Okay,
and I felt like I know music lovers of Bon Jovi will probably fall out with me for this, but I kind of felt that his time was done. He shouldn't have done it.
like he's past it. He's too old, really.
Yeah, like he Better Roses is not even a fast song, and he couldn't sing the whole thing.
Oh Jesus!
And I know, you let the crowd sing some parts of it. Obviously, that's part of the thing.
Oh
But
yeah!
like, I wouldn't even think he sang half the song.
Oh my God! It's funny though, because I know people that have seen him before, and they said that it's the best concert ever. Nothing would ever top them. That he puts on an excellent show. Now this would have
Yeah,
been 10, 15 years ago.
yeah, probably 7.5 years before he should have stopped. I don't mean that as harsh as it sounds, but the disappointment from that day was unreal.
I can
You
imagine.
know yourself, you're seeing this guy again. I'm going back to Europe in the kitchen. If it wasn't Europe, it was Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
if it was Bon Jovi, the full band was there because me and Gary joined in.
Oh, yeah,
You're going from that to actual age where you get to see this person. You've grew up with his music. You've watched the DVDs. You've listened to the CDs. You've done the
yeah,
concert yourself.
yeah.
To that.
I see.
So that was more heartbreaking than the Kings of Leon one because they meant more, I suppose.
I totally can see your point there. It would be very
Yeah.
disappointing and soul destroying almost, especially
Oh
if
no,
you've.
no, no. The soul destroying part was,
Okay,
he could have pulled it back out of the box. He could have pulled it back out of the box. All he had to do was play Always.
okay,
One of like anyone I talk to, one of the most iconic songs of his is Always.
yeah.
Sure, why would you play that? Like, why would you play that? The Irish people would be only waiting for it.
Right. And
No, no.
did he
We
play?
stood in the rain, got stood on, Bulmers thrown on, half songs played, and then didn't even play Always.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, that was just the icing on the top of the cake.
So you'll always be waiting for him to play it.
I'll always be waiting, yes.
I can't believe that though. You'd imagine he'd play that song like it's one of his classic songs, one of his most well known, as you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, like not even in the encore.
Not even in the encore. I don't even think Always was mentioned anywhere in the whole thing.
Jeez.
Now, I did voice my opinion on the way out to my friend.
Okay.
That did not go down very well.
From your friend?
No. That would kind of be acceptable. No, this was from a perfect stranger.
Are you serious?
I am now, in fairness to the perfect stranger, I think he thought he was John Bon Jovi's fatter twin.
Okay. Harsh words.
Harsh words, but like, there's only so many people can get away with a vest top if you're that size, cowboy boots, and a bandana.
Right. And I take it he was up
I
in the
actually,
years, was he?
I actually think he might have had a pink cowboy hat.
Okay, quite an interesting character. So,
Maybe was his wife's because he was walking with a woman.
okay.
So we'll let that bit slide.
And how did this interaction go down then? What?
Oh, we were just walking out, and I just happened to voice my opinion about, I can't believe he didn't play Always, or
Yeah.
the normal talking to be going on after the concert.
Oh yeah.
And I actually couldn't tell you what he said because I was trying not to laugh.
Okay.
But he turned around, real serious, and ate me
Right.
in the
I
middle
see.
of the tens of thousands walking out of the RDS in the pitch dark, torrential rain, and all I could do was laugh.
Okay.
Like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Like,
I can't help you there. I actually don't know. So I've never like been exiting a concert and got ate by a very large man in a pink cowboy hat.
yeah, well, there you go. It's on the bucket list for you.
It is. I'll have to jot that one down. Put it on the
Yeah.
list. Seems like an interesting
Yep.
experience all in itself.
Oh, I tell you, it was an experience, all right.
So do I even need to ask what song you're going to play?
I think you should just go ahead and play it. I don't think it needs an introduction now at this stage.
Okay, here we go.
So that's the end of the first half. I'm afraid you'll have to tune back in next week to hear the second half. I hope you enjoyed it so far. The second half is just as entertaining. Before I go, I just want to remind you, find us on social media and also click that button that says leave a voice message. I'd love to hear back from you. Some of the best voice messages will be included in future episodes, so make sure they're a good one. I'll see you all next week. and keep rocking. Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here.